The advantages of finding my way around this tunnel system were too immense to ignore. However, I realized that I had taken my life in my own hands to a much larger degree than I had expected. These tunnels were extraordinary, but also quite dangerous and filled with creatures I had never seen before. I hope that all of this is worth it.
Welcome, dear viewers, to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I am the Couch Warrior, and you are watching The Black Prince. Now, in the last episode, we discovered this little farm. What a strange place for a farm. It's hidden away here. And if you remember, we were on a trail supposedly headed towards Kynes Grove. Well, we certainly haven't arrived there yet. And in the last episode, we infiltrated and cleared out this old farmhouse, and we stayed the night there. Now, we've got two routes to go. Two routes that we can check. The first one I'm going to check is this tunnel. We saw that on the way through. And then the other one is a ramp that goes up the cliffside here. We got to check out that as well. Okay. All right, we're going to go with a crossbow here. Okay, we're already dosed. We've got 10 bolts left, ladies and gentlemen. 10 bolts. That is not a lot of bolts. So, we're going to have to be conservative. All right, we can hear something already. What is that? Hey, okay, it's coming back up here. Ideally, I want to shoot it in the back. There it is, right there. That extra damage we can get from surprise combined with our poison. Ascendant Sleeper. What is that? Jeez. Curari, it feels like it's not doing anything. Oh no, we're not using Curari right now, are we? We've got a different poison on this thing at the moment. And our bow is poisoned as well, but we're not using our best poisons. Ah, misfire? Okay, okay. One more shot. Come on up here. Come on up here, you bastard. There it is. Oh, 3 shots. Okay, now we can dose this guy. Let's try some of the new poisons that we created. Damage health. Over 200 extra points of damage per shot, which is great. Because you can see more movement down there, right? Ascendant Sleeper. This thing was kind of tough. Sleeper Powder. Cool. All right. Cool. Yeah, there's more of these things. Dead body here, too. Oh, it's one of those gnarl things. Whoa. Okay, let's back it up. Back it up. This is a good shooting lane here. Oh my gosh. Back it up. Whew. Okay. Oh, wow. Yep, we're down to... blowgun darts. So we are officially out of ammo for that guy. So we're going to go to the Forsworn Bow with An-Xileel arrows. Now look at this, it's leaving a body and an ash pile. Interesting. Ooh, we'll take those arrows. Poison. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Holy crap, this is a big chamber. Where is the enemy? There. Okay. Gotcha. All right, we get his attention now. Let's change position. Oh, there's 2 of them. Shh. All right. Poison status. Missed. Again. All right, let's duck in here quick. Oh yeah, they're onto us. They are onto us. just don't know if they're going to follow us or not. Okay, let's check our poison status. Okay, now we're completely out of poison on the bow, which means we can go to our big guns. Let's do that. Well, that'd be terrifying if they followed us. They're tough, so... Whoa, what is that? Gotcha. Okay, it's retreating. We got it on the ropes. It's big, but it ain't so tough. Gotcha. Yeah. Right, the jewels. Sorry about that. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry at all. Take the pelt. I'm gonna take the skull. Taking those rat tails. Those were actually useful. God. They're not chasing, but... I don't know. Freaking me out a little. Okay, this is nasty in here. A lot of people get eaten in these tunnels. River Betty. Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Let's take all of that. Never know. Okay. Myths of Shigarath. Exotic Alchemy. Oh, look at this. This has got all the information about the things that we're going to find down here. Okay, we're taking that. Uncommon taste. We'll take that too. Okay. Check that all right. Oh, wait. That's got wheat in it. We can use wheat. Oh, hello. Ooh, spider eggs. Okay. All right, so while we're down here, we're kind of stuck at the moment. We've got a couple bad guys out there who may or may not know what direction we went. So, and this is obviously a dead end, so we're going to have to go back out. Let's take an opportunity to see if we can make anything new here. What I was hoping for was some Fortify Marksman. I think I may have a couple of those in my inventory anyway, but still. Okay, now, River Betty. Look at that. Boy, I wonder what would happen if I combined River Betty with Imp Stool, if that would be any better. Yeah, look at that. 278. Yeah, it's the river. It's always the River Betty, isn't it? Okay, we don't want to use the troll fat. I'm going to use that for something else. So let's do River Betty and Nightshade. We'll make one that's super high powered. We just got to remember we got it. So when we get in a position where we can really use it, we'll pull that out. And then Salt and Rat Tail is what gave us the slowing. So make a couple more of those bad boys. All right. Now, I think one of the things I feel like is pretty cool, I haven't done it yet, but it's definitely part of the plan and part of the advantage of having multiple ranged weapons is the ability to combine doses of things on enemies. So dosing, something like, dosing something like weakness to poison with one weapon and then applying a poison with another to enhance the effect. There's some combinations like that we can do if we can do some fast weapon switching, stuff like that. So as we kind of move forward and sort of finish putting together our kit and some of our techniques, I feel like that's something that's going to be kind of interesting to do. Resourcefulness, we are going to do create, and I want to see for enchanting supplies. Okay, I just need a bit more troll fat. So let's see if we can get any more ingredients off of this guy. I just need troll fat, and then we can make our own enchanting station. There we go. Troll fat right there. All right, so we make the enchanting supplies. Now, of course, we can't use enchanting supplies unless we have bone meal. And so we're going to be looking to get some bone meal at some point in the near future. I don't know that we have any right now. I'm not too concerned about it at the moment, but the enchanting supplies is one of those things I always like to try to get on the list. All right. Now, check our poison. Okay, we're still sporting a poison. Let's use our most powerful arrows. These guys make me nervous. These ascendant sleeper things. Okay. Damn. They're just damaged sponges. Okay. Important to change position. Okay. So how we doing? We need more poison. So we got 202, 278. All right. Let's max it out. Then let's do... There we go. Fortify marksman and invisibility. Well, that sucks shit. It's the problem with being invisible. I can't tell if I got my bow drawn or not. Oh god, I gotta finish this. Shit. Okay, he's done. Alright, we took a shot there. Wasted a perfectly good invisibility potion on a screw-up. I hate that. Alright, one more. There it is. Whew! Okay, these guys were tough. We were putting some serious damage on these guys with the poisons and stuff. Holy cow. All right. I must have used up all my An-Xileel arrows, eh? No. I still got some more. Okay. Ugh. Just disgusting. Okay, what on earth happened here? What is...
I did not like study, to be sure, but not all of our learning was purely academic. Naturally, we had access to a very well-appointed library, and Jeetum-Da's lessons could be truly excruciating in their details and demands. However, at least half of our learning was from what our teacher called Practicum. He always used to say that there were some things one simply had to do in order to understand. It was from Practicum that we learned such skills as survival, hunting, fighting, and even such mundane things as cooking and cleaning. Every evening, one of us would prepare a meal for the others, and we would eat together, each sharing in turn our day's experiences. Many of our most important lessons were learned around that table. We were like a strange little family. I did not realize just how good that simple life was. At the close of each year, we would embark on a rite of passage called the Jeetum-Da, or Trust Trials. It was intended to test what we learned the previous year, as well as our ability to work together and as competitors. There was no declared winner of Jeetum-Da, but Jeetum-Da's praise was as highly valued among his students as any royal award might be among noble circles. Over the years, I had grown accustomed to receiving little of that praise. However, I also learned to appreciate the praise I was given. Yes, I could fight well, but I could never defeat Chula with daggers. Yes, I had mastered the art of wilderness navigation, but could never best Jinn in any terrain. Despite these shortcomings, I was able to distill lethal poisons from almost nothing, and when I prepared curried yams and slaughterfish, Jeetum-Da's eyes would roll back in his head as he patted his belly. That was all the praise I needed. Although my disinterest in winning was obvious, Chula and Jinn never gave each other any quarter. It was clear that neither of them considered me a threat, so as the years went by, their rivalry became more and more severe. When we were younger, it was needling and good-natured laughter, but as we grew in age and ability, the jokes became insults and the laughter threats. The day soon came when Jeetum-Da brought nervous tension rather than nervous energy. In the last few years of our instruction, there were times when both Chula and Jinn tried to pull me into their games, attempting to pit me against the other. However, I am proud to say that I had become quite adept at maintaining my neutrality, and above all, my disinterest. Yes, when it came to conflict, Okan was unfailingly agnostic. Strangely, our master seemed to be completely oblivious to the escalating tension. For the life of me, I could never understand this. My assumption had always been that without all the fighting, our lessons would have been so much more productive. But perhaps the fighting was the point. Who was I to say? After all, Jeetum-Da had an infuriating and abstruse manner that made him impossible to read, and good luck ever getting a straight answer from him on anything. The day finally came when even the enigmatic old lizard could no longer avoid the conflict, as daggers were drawn at the evening meal. Chula and Jin glared at one another across the table, their chairs skidding backwards. The shining points of their daggers weaved deadly patterns in the air before my eyes until they were both abruptly disarmed by Jeetum-Da in a move I can only describe as fast as any viper strike I had seen. It was in that moment that I saw something leave the master's eyes. At the time, I thought his patience had fled, but in the years since, I have come to realize that it was hope. In the moment he saw his children draw blades in anger, it was as if promise had evaporated. He left the room without a word, and both Jin and Chula stormed off to their rooms, both completely missing the tragic significance of the moment. Left alone in the kitchen, I cleaned up the dishes in silence, haunted by the vision of my master's eyes, devoid of their usual mischief and puerile charm. How strange to find myself an outsider, forced to bear witness to the death of devotion between the three people I loved most. What had become of our once happy little cabal? How had we not felt this sinister poison spreading influence until it was too late? Often have I questioned the part I played. Perhaps it was my role to step in, to be the peacemaker. What if my refusal to involve myself all these years upset the formula that was to hold us together? If that were true, my failure to take action was the very poison that destroyed us. Refugees? From where? Oh, this guy's got some serious gear. I'll take the prepared foods. Chowder. Huh. Fish barrel. River Betty. Give me a River Betty. Yeah. They have a lot of stuff down here. Well,
Our understanding, based on what we've learned from Stands and Shallows, is that this area is pretty dangerous. He talked about how the An-Xileel had prepared these tunnels with the specific purpose in mind of using these tunnels to fight the Imperials, thinking that during the incident with Umbriel that the Imperials would fall back to Skyrim. So they were setting the stage for basically a guerrilla war to be waged in Skyrim using these tunnels. But that ended up actually not happening. So what I'm referring to here is there are two Elder Scrolls novels that are pretty good. I mean, you know, it's Elder Scrolls lore and some pretty good stories involving the whole conspiracy, the events around the city of Umbriel that was actually brought into Mundus by some An-Xileel leaders. And we heard in their discussion a couple of episodes ago, they were kind of arguing, and there was this... They were alluding to this idea that the An-Xileel had taken extreme measures to try to win their war of independence. And that, to some degree, had to do with aligning themselves... We got something else here. With Clavicus Vile, or with the Daedric realms in some way. If you're curious about those books, they're pretty good. I wouldn't say that they're the most beautifully written books in the world. That's really not the case. However, they are entertaining, and they are one of the best sources you'll find for any sort of lore on the An-Xileel. And it will also tell you some things about this character, who is an actual historical character in Elder Scrolls called Mir Glim. And Mir Glim is... You heard the reference to Mir Glim in that discussion. Stands and Shallows actually was taking issue with the fact that Okan had Mir Glim's name tattooed across his hands. Well, incidentally, we'll be doing some more talking about Mir Glim in the future. But Mir Glim is definitely one of his heroes. Now, along the way, I'll try to impart a little bit of lore upon you based on what I know. I've not read both books. I've read one of the books. So the other one is on my list, but I have not read it yet. Okay. This is Gnarl Mother Cave. Is that what it was? Yeah, Gnarl Mother Cave. Good grief. We gotta be close to Kynesgrove. Like, we're not even to Kynesgrove yet? Ah, well, there you go. Now I know where we are. Okay, we've been through here. Haha. All right, we're connecting the dots. So that passage is a way to get around this problem right here. All right, so we've got to pass through here again. If we're going to do that, we put on the appropriate gear. Now this creature, this must be the anglerfish. We still can't. Can I drag the body? Yeah, I'm going to try to dump this body over the falls. Did it. Ha ha ha. There it is. Okay, let's see if we can drag it out of here. I don't know why I care so much. I just do. Oh, come on. Gotcha. Oh, yeah. They're going to let us search it now. Oh, I harvested troll's blood. Wow. Okay. Let's have a look. Take the pelt. Harvest some ingredients. Again, I'm looking for those, hoping to get bones out of it. There we go, animal bones. That's going to help us later if we got to make arrows. All right. I'm looking up that book for you. Okay. Now, like I said, there's 2 books in the series. They're written by Greg Keyes. Book number 2 is called Lord of Souls, and I think the first one's called The Infernal City. And it just deals with this whole thing of the An-Xileel summoning the city of Umbriel. And the city of Umbriel is basically like, it's like a piece of Clavicus Vile's realm that is broken off and sent into Mundus, and it has some horrible effects because the city is generally it's populated with Daedric type creatures and so forth that kind of enslave the population. But the other thing that happens is the city essentially has a sewage system that is now dumping sewage and refuse out of the bottom of it onto the countryside below. And when this sewage and all of this nasty, basically Daedric poop drops on people on the countryside, it basically kills them and transforms them into undead. So you have this massive kind of creepy looking city that is flying through the sky, headed towards the Imperial City, and then below it is a large army of undead that is getting larger by the moment. Because the city originates in Black Marsh and then travels towards Cyrodiil, it starts out with a very large number of Argonians that fall victim to this thing when it's first summoned. But then over the course of time, as it travels along, it begins to pick up a larger, undead army of all kinds of races, not just Argonians. It's quite the premise of it. I feel like is quite entertaining and interesting. Like I said, I wouldn't say it's the most well-written book ever, but let's jump. All right, let's make sure we're dosed. I'm feeling like we're not. No, we're not. We're not getting the sort of damage we need. All right, 50 points per second for 17 seconds. Let's do that. Okay, he's going to come at us. There it is. Now that's a poison. All right. Now, hopefully our way won't be blocked here. So anyway, if you'd like, check out those 2 books. There's not a lot of lore about the An-Xileel to be found online, and if you do look it up on UESP and so forth, what you're going to find are references to the stories from the novels. So you may as well just read the novels. I got them as audiobooks, and they were pretty good. So I used them as kind of a way to learn more about Argonians in particular. Like I said, I still have to read the first book, but it's on my to-do list. There we go. Now, one of the things that I'll be talking about... Oh, we got some more curare, too. As we go along is Okan's interest in Mir Glim as a historical figure. And through that discussion, we'll be talking a little bit more about some of the circumstances around Mir Glim and what he did in the story that basically made him a hero, at least... at least in Okan's eyes. Ah, arrows. Good. Boy, we're getting close to encumbrance. So I'm not going to pick up any more weapons like that. All right, so at this point, we completely explored the lower path, and that's where we ran into this place where the refugees were obviously slaughtered. It seemed like it had happened recently. But we also followed that path to its conclusion. So now we need to figure out where this stuff is going. Steam Scorch Mine. Now that's Kynes Grove, right? Indeed it is. All right, let's stay out of sight if we can. This is... So much for staying out of sight. Yeah, this is Kynes Grove. Wow, that's a long-ass trek to get to Kynes Grove, isn't it? Wow. And we're trying to get to Riften? Let's go back. All right, so we've got one path ahead of us now. And we are very close to another level. All we got to do is level up one more skill, I think, and we'll be there. So let's keep moving along. Old Forgotten Castle, North Wing. Good God. Okay. All right. This is a pretty incredible mod. I'm really enjoying it. Look at this thing. That looks like undead. Son of a... Bone Lord. Oh boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Crossbow. 23 points of damage versus our Forsworn bow. Sure would be nice to have some more bolts, wouldn't it? All right, let's make good use. Well, we may as well. Got one shot. Man, that hurts. All right. All right. Let us... We'll get the healing going. But then we're also going to do some resist fire and see if we can finish this damn thing. Gotcha. Wow. Bone meal. That's good. Man, this is tough down here. It kind of begs the question, why is Okan doing this? Well, the way I look at it right now, he's putting in the work. He knows that he's got a lot of terrible things coming up, a lot of difficulties he's going to have, a lot of things he's going to have to try to accomplish, and that he's going to have to try to do it all on his own, and it's going to be extremely dangerous. So in light of the fact that he is working on his own and trying to achieve these An-Xileel goals, he needs every advantage he can get. So by putting in the work now and freeing up these pathways, he puts himself in a much better position to be elusive. What? He's going to be doing things that are going to obviously put him in jeopardy. And he's a very determined person. Oh boy. What I wouldn't give for some crossbow bolts, baby. Now, I could blow these darts. Use them with the crossbow for now. These undead creatures don't seem to be affected by my poisons. So, what we're going to try to do here is hopefully take advantage of just some of the raw power . We've got that gateway back there. We might be able to use that to our advantage as well. I don't know. Run. Okay. Ooh. Not the greatest plan ever, but it seems to be working. Empty. You gotta love the power of the crossbow. For sure. What was that? Ugh. God, this is bad. Hear that clacking noise. If it sounds like a chaurus, I kind of assume that it's going to be a creature with some poison capability. Oh man, got a door there. Something behind it. Got a dead end there. Okay, this is all a dead end, so this is... Yeah, see? It's up there, right there. Gosh. Taking the bone meal from the bone wheel. That's right. It's called bone wheel meal. Sorry. I've been at this too long. Okay, this is good. Okay. This is blocked. I think this is the other side of that blockage that we saw before. Now this must be something that we're supposed to chip our way through. Gosh, man, I don't like that sound. I'm telling you, so far in the story, Okan hasn't been poisoned, but in my play testing, he was poisoned. And it was pretty frightening because, yeah, look at that thing. Nasty. The poisons of these creatures are treated just like the poisons that we use on others, like curare, right? Which is doing damage over time. So I kept taking more and more damage. I had to burn through so many healing potions and regen potions and stuff to survive. And I just had to ride it out. It was pretty ugly. Bone looper. Come on. Let me see ya. Like, I'm gonna assume that this guy is poisonous. Now, because we're using blow darts here and not bolts, we're getting the power from the bow itself, but our bolts aren't doing any more than 1 damage. However, they are doing whatever poison damage is associated with them, right? So we're definitely not at full strength here. But we're making the best of a bad situation, and I think that I could actually make my own blow darts. I know for sure that I can't make my own crossbow bolts. I'm not high enough level in smithing. I don't have the right perks, I guess, is the idea. I think this looper. Okay, he's done. Okay, so some of these creatures are immune to my poisons, and some are not. That's what we're learning here. Oh, are you kidding me? What the hell? Oh, I'm hitting the planter. Shit. Okay, we gotta look. We gotta look. Skeleton Paladin. Well, that just sucks. Hopefully this guy will chase me. I think one more shot and I could take him out. If he gives me the opportunity. There he goes. Yeah. Taking that bone meal. I know we can use that. Okay, that was a dead end down there. Alright. Can I recover this ammo? Or does it just vanish? I don't know. Okay, still poisoned. Okay, let's fall back. We got to check our poison. See, I'm glad I did, because that next shot would have had almost no effect. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, so what do we know so far? We're beyond Kynesgrove. So hopefully that means we're on the track to Riften. We don't know, though. This is very much an exploration. Ooh, poison. Let's check out what that was. Drains target stamina by 10 points per second for 276 seconds. See, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. If you get poisoned in the wild and it is a poison like that, for example, hitting your health, for 276 seconds, you have to just keep chugging health potions in order to survive that. So in my playtesting, I found myself using multiple healing potions, but also using potions that fortified my health, resisted poison, like just to survive one poisoning required me to take a whole crap ton of potions to counteract it. So you can very quickly deplete your inventory of potions. So that's what I'm really concerned about. That's why I'm making sure that I'm taking, getting resist poison potions in my inventory and stuff like that. That's why regen and fortify health are much more important now. We went back in the room. Okay, I think this area is clear. Don't need a great sword. Take the potions. The Arcturian Heresy. We don't have that book. The Oblivion Crisis. I might have that one. I'm not sure. Thief of Virtue. No. Baron's Aya books. I don't have any of those yet. Boots, a dagger, nothing else of note. Okay, the next thing we need to do is figure out how we can bash through that barrier. Based on what we've explored so far, it appears to be the only way that we can go. Right here. Don't have a pickaxe, so what I'm going to do is we're going to try some magic. I'm going to try a combination of flames, and then we're going to put down our fire oil here as well. Yeah. That did it. Ah, nuts. Wrong button. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for watching this episode of The Black Prince on Couch Warrior TV. It's been a lot of fun. There's so much more to do. We're just beginning, I think, to explore this vast network of tunnels, and it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays into our missions. I think in the next episode, we will find ourselves hopefully in Riften, and from there, we are going to start our exploration of the Dark Brotherhood and Thieves Guild quest lines. It's going to be exciting, and I hope to see you for the next episode. Thank you.